One of the most insidious things is that some people that are intending to be in high vibration may find they're in these low vibrational traps and they don't even know it. Because when we are in what is comfortable and familiar, we become blind to what our actual potential really is. So in this video, I'm going to share with you those 3 low vibrational traps, how to get out of them, and how to even know if you're in them to begin with. Welcome back to another video. My name is Aaron and I help people expand their consciousness. Now in this video, I'm going to be sharing something with you that I've become aware of in my own life. There's parts of my life where I become aware of certain things, and then all I want to do is share it with you guys. So what I'm going to do is actually take this out of the tripod. I'm going to bring you over to this amazing little chart that I have over here. This isn't the chart though. Let me find this chart of vibration. We're very familiar with this chart of vibration. I've shared it in many videos. You'll see it on the lower vibes. You got shame, fear, guilt, anger, the neutrality, willingness, reasoning, and then love, joy, peace, and enlightenment. The more we raise our vibration, the better we feel. The more we raise our vibration, the easier it is to create what we want in our life because our vibration, our frequency is higher. Now here is the thing. Everything calibrates at a certain frequency. Now this is just the intro to the video because it's important to know this, but everything vibrates at a certain frequency. When we do certain actions, those vibrate at a certain frequency. Now the way this is done is through something called muscle testing. You test via the muscles. It's from the book called Power versus Force, and it talks about how the subconscious mind is connected to truths, things going strong or weak. So we're able to calibrate different things based on this muscle testing. Now what they found is that weed, for example, vibrates at about 350, which is the level of acceptance. Alcohol is at 275, which is that of courage. And there is, let's say, classical music is reasoning, which is funny because a lot of intellectual people like listening to classical music. Very angry music will calibrate lower. Everything has a certain rate of vibration. Now there are certain things we do though that keeps us locked into certain vibrations that we may not even be aware of, simply because we are comfortable doing them and we've been doing them for a certain period of time, so much so that they seem to be that of just comfortable. Now here's the first thing I want to share with you. It has to do with understanding vibration and music. Things you do that you're not aware are keeping you within those lower vibrational states. Now let me give you an example. I almost kind of want to make a little chart about this. Maybe I will. But what happens is that music that I'm talking about, when you tune things to different things, when you tune to different, let's say music. Let's say the music you're listening to, subconsciously the music is saying, or the person that is performing the music, say it's like, get yourself to the money and beat people up along the way. And you're comfortable listening to this. You're like, well, I feel a lot of energy when I listen to this. And every time you listen to it, what it does is it's subconsciously programming your mind that you got to get to the money but beat people up along the way. You see, because of that repetition. Now, the trap of that is that when you listen to music consistently, it reprograms your subconscious mind. This is something you want to be aware of. And this is something you also want to be aware of when you're doing different activities that are priming you for certain states of being. So, me, for example, let me give you an example of this. I was watching a show on Netflix the other day called Black Mirror. Black Mirror. It is a very it's like mental mind candy for a show. It's about like the futuristic things that may happen in the future with technology and like the bittersweetness of it. Some of it can be kind of dark. Now, I went on a little binge over. I was watching like 2 or 3 episodes in one day because it was so interesting to me. And then I found that I had weird dreams that night. And I found that it just put me in a little bit of a funk. And I wasn't really aware of it because I was so mentally enjoying it. But I could definitely feel when I looked back at it, I could definitely feel that it dampened my vibration. I was in something that was keeping me in a lower vibrational trap, and I didn't even know it because I was in a way distracted. That's the thing with some of these low vibrational traps. They keep us distracted. But when we tune to it, we're then tuning our vibration to it. And then what happens is even though we're mentally enjoying it, it has an effect on our vibration itself. So the key to this is becoming aware of what you are paying attention to. If you're watching Netflix, what shows are you watching? If you're watching YouTube channels, what YouTube channels are you watching? Be aware, is this actually helping me? Is this something that's making me more aware of myself? Is this something that I'm enjoying? Now, here's the thing. Does this mean that you can never enjoy your life? Like I can never watch another episode of Black Mirror again, or it's like going to wreck my vibration? No, but it is about being aware of it, because going on a binge of watching 3 to 4 episodes, I definitely see how that affected my vibration. The key to this is always awareness. Always awareness. If you're listening to the same songs over and over again, here's something else that might keep you in a low vibe. There's certain music that I used to listen to when I was a stoner. When I say stoner, I mean I used to smoke a lot of weed, okay? It's back in 2011, 2012. And I like those songs, okay? Kid Cudi, you ever heard of Kid Cudi? Kid Cudi's got some great songs, and I used to smoke, and it's very nostalgic, because when I hear those songs today, it brings me back to that time when I used to just kind of smoke and chill with friends a lot, which is kind of sometimes nostalgic. But I do recognize as well that when I listen to those songs, it almost teleports me back to that place, which even though I was smoking weed, I wasn't actually very happy with my life. So it kind of it brings me back to that place. Even, here's another, this will sound kind of weird, but I've been intuitively aware of this. I listen to chill step now, which is to me a high vibe type music. Chill step is like something I listen to on YouTube. It's in the background when I'm working. Now chill step, there are certain playlists, there's certain videos that are like hour long. I listen to it. Sometimes I'll go through a thing where I'll listen to the same one every single day because it starts priming me to get into work mode. However, there's ones that I listened to maybe a year ago. And what happens is a year ago, I was in a very different place. What'll happen is when I'm listening to the same one I listened to a year ago, it almost like it brings back similar emotions, similar thoughts, similar memories. Is it bad? No, but being aware of it is where the power is. Because in a way, that is an insidious trap that we may not become aware of. Where's the light? There we go. That we may not become aware of because we're so familiar and comfortable with it. Now, second thing I want to talk about is, okay, this is like a similar pattern that we may attract into our life and not even know it. Now, I've shared this story many times, but I'm going to share it in a new way today by sharing how my sister's going through this as well. Back in the day, she's 7 to 15 years old, I had that stepmom, my ex-stepmom in my life that was very mentally, physically, emotionally abusive. And she's someone we consider to be a narcissist. And what happened is she was in my life between that period of time, and it kind of beat down my self-image, my self-worth, and she was very, very controlling. Well, what ended up happening is my dad divorced her when I was 15. All of a sudden, my brother and I have a lot of freedom. We're able to date. We're able to have friends. We're able to eat food, as much food as we want. It's like a whole new world. We're able to watch TV, do all normal kid stuff. Well, what happens is the first 2 or 3 relationships that I got into were with women that were trying to control me. Straight up, almost similar personalities. And then after I broke up with one of the ex-girlfriends back in like 2011 or 12, or even before that, when I worked at Nordstrom's and women's shoes, I got transferred to a department where the manager of that department had the same type of personality as my ex-stepmom. So until I completed that pattern, then I learned meditation, I became aware of these things, and then she got fired. We tried getting her fired for like a year and a half, but we couldn't because she was protected by upper management, because she would do the things that you just should not be able to do, but she was protected. Well, what happened is, as soon as I completed these within myself, then she left my life, and ever since then, I don't deal with anyone that tries to control me. Now, here's the thing. There was always someone in my life to show me that pattern until I became aware of it and then cleared it. Now let me share with you how my sister is working through this right now. My sister is 17 years old. She recently has decided, I'm not going back to my mom's house. She's at my dad's house. They're divorced, obviously. And what happens is she's like, they have to go to court and all this crazy stuff because my sister, she just doesn't want to see her mom's very mentally, emotionally. Her mom does crazy stuff. Her mom will text her friends pictures of her, like, to embarrass her, like do things that you just couldn't even imagine someone would do it's crazy. However, she does these things. My sister's like, I'm not going back to my mom's house, don't want to see her anymore, and that's that. What happens is now she's not around her mom so much. Well, guess what? Now she's in a relationship where the person she's in a relationship with, he's a nice guy, but he is somewhat controlling. He doesn't want her to go to swim class because she'll be in a swimsuit even though it's a swimming competition. Do you see what I mean? This is very obvious to me. Now, I'm not necessarily going to say this. I'm going to let her kind of figure this out for herself because she, loves him and all that stuff. However, it's a pattern that will be on autopilot that we won't become aware of, that we'll be familiar with because of the lack of awareness. So that's a low vibe trap that we stay entrained in until we become aware of it. Now, the third low vibe trap. So first off, what is the key to that? Is awareness and completing the past. I have a whole video on it. There's a meditation listed for 21 days that'll change your life. I'll go and link it in the bottom of the description box on completing the past and feeling 100% worthy, whole, and complete. You'll see it there. Now, the third way that you can go about this process is understanding guilt with friends. As you start to raise your vibration, what's going to happen is your friends may start to tell you, hey, come back over here. Just smoke a little weed. Just drink a little booze. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Just do it. Just do it. And you're like conflicted because you're like, well, I went through a spiritual awakening and I learned meditation and all of this stuff and I don't want to smoke that weed no more. I don't want to drink no more. And they're like, just smoke a little weed. And the thing is you feel kind of conflicted. Now, what can happen, though, is you'll feel as if you don't go into it. You might feel kind of guilty, like there's something wrong with you because you haven't stayed consistent to the way they expect you to be. There was another example of this as well. I remember I was talking to someone, I was kind of coaching someone at my buddy had this retreat thing, and there was somebody there that I could tell kind of needed help because she'd been through the same type of, I guess that whole narcissistic mom thing, or ex-stepmom thing. That I went through, the narcissistic ex-stepmom. It's my stepmom, by the way. I love my real mom. My real mom's awesome. My ex-stepmom, who I didn't have communication with when I was with my ex-stepmom, by the way, for like that 7 or 8 years because we were brainwashed and not be able to do so. But that is something that resonates with a lot of people. At my buddy's retreat, this person comes in and she was telling me about how she'd been through something similar. And her mom, I think it was her dad though. Her mom though, her sister recently passed away, and it was like this really traumatic experience. And the thing is she wanted to get out of the depression to be happy, but part of her also wanted to make her mom happy. Her mom, for some reason, wouldn't be happy if she was happy, because if she was happy, then that would show her and that would reflect back to her that everything was okay and she wasn't really sad about her sister and all of these things. So she was feeling trapped because of the expectation that her mom had of her. She wanted to break out of depression. She wanted to break out of this sadness, but the other part of her wanted to please her mom, and her mom didn't want to see her that way subconsciously. Of course, any parent would probably want to see their kids happy, but the mom was too much in the victim mode, and rightfully so from certain perspectives of what happened. So I'm not saying victim mode like she shouldn't, but is it more in the mode of I don't want to deal with this emotion right now. This happened to us, rather than integrating that emotion, if that makes sense. So I know that could sound kind of harsh, but I don't mean it harsh, I promise you that. I mean it in a way of understanding the different and the perspective. Like if you don't want your daughter to feel happier, then that has a lot to do with some type of emotional trapped emotion that's not being cleared. So our expectation of ourselves and of how we're supposed to be for other people is a low vibrational trap that'll keep us within a certain box. And the key to this is becoming aware of what that is. Becoming aware of, when I went through my awakening, I had this desire to be normal compared to everyone else rather than doing what I wanted to do. And that caused a lack of boundaries. And remember, boundaries are just what's okay and what's not okay. And if you think it's okay that people treat you a certain way, then that's a lack of boundaries, if that certain way isn't a way that you like to be treated. And to develop boundaries, you just have to become aware of what's okay for you. And what's okay for you is for you to be you. And the more that you embrace that, the more empowered you feel, and the more that then you could say no to things that you don't want to do and you don't feel like doing. That's where power of boundaries really is. So that's what I encourage you to do, is to be aware of that, and then to take your power back, and then to not feel guilty, because that guiltiness is a trap. And almost everyone that goes through the spiritual awakening process will go through a part of it. So that's the key as well. Now, if you haven't already, could you do me a favor and subscribe to the channel? I'm going to be making more videos like this, sharing more of these type of ideas. Really what my goal is with this channel is to help make spirituality practical and relatable. What can you actually do to transform your life using the principles that I share on this channel? So with that being said, subscribe, and as always, I'll see you in the next video. Peace, much love, and namaste.